to Tactical, one of the most visual magic tricks on the market today, brought to you by the Magic World creative team. That's myself, Daniel Meadows, Jason, and of course Sam Fitton. And we were really excited to bring this product to the market for yourselves, because it is something that we've been playing around with for a long time. And we came up with the idea probably about 9-10 months ago, maybe longer. First of all, it was your idea originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the history of it is probably two different paths that have intersected. So if we're talking in terms of the flap style gimmick, main inspiration for me was probably about 2000. I picked up Blink by Mark Mason and JB Magic. That's probably one of the most classic and most well-known style gimmicks. I don't think I've given anything away there. I think most people will know the style because it's such a massive seller. That's more the Rob Bromley style gimmick. I think more recently you've got Hondo with his flap cards, you've got Shin Lim who's got different variants on it. So there's those sort of bits. You've also got Sam with his development of iPhone to Deck, ITD.
That's Sam Fitton.
Sam Fitton, so he's released that with Warp Magic, so that's how that path's going. And then there's a path with the Black Art, as you probably already noticed. So the Black Art original effect of the mini deck growing is a Peter Kane idea. There were limitations with that in that you couldn't show it immediately. Steve Valentine took that a massive way forward with his cut deck. That's on his lecture DVD. That's really nice, but again, you don't get the instant show. So if you've done a visual change, you've got to do something else before you can do the instant show. So this is moving forward. People at the moment who are doing amazing things with Black Art are like Bill Chung, who we saw at the session. That's fantastic. So we've got those two sort of bits. So I was playing around with the Black Art sort of principle. Sam's come along with his sort of knowledge of different gimmicks and the intersections with this.
And then on top of that, a good friend Jason Knowles came up with the idea of adding the elastic to it, making it into a flap card, and all that it brings together what we have today, which is a fantastic piece of magic.
Yeah,
really.
I think there are definitely people who've been travelling down similar lines. A lot of different people have played around with it. So it's only fair to say that Nicholas Lawrence on his Penguin Live lecture has done something similar. There are differences for us, hence why we're releasing this product. But I think it's only fair to say that he did publish before while we were playing around with it.
So in terms of what we have here, it's the beautiful thing is they can examine the box.
Yes. So there's different bits, but the immediate part is once you've done the change, you can show before you go into it.
Okay, so you can show me your trick, I can show you my trick. How's that?
Go on then.
Okay, let's see it. Ta-da! Secret preparation done.
So the two that you've either got the Tic Tacs, or you've got the mini deck.
1, 2, 3. Boom.
You've got the immediate show, and then you've got the clean up.
Exactly.
So we'll go into that in a little bit more detail.
Okay, so what is in the box? You've obviously got to the video download section, so you've checked out what's inside. You're going to get two gimmicks. One of them ready to go straight away, and the other one just needs a little bit of preparation to get it ready, literally a few moments. Then after that you're going to get some invisible, elastic thread or sewing thread. We've included a generous amount of this inside the package as well. Then that is everything you need ready to go. Here you'll notice there's the one, which is a miniature deck of cards going to a large deck of cards. Now this has not been set up, and this is the gimmick that is ready to go immediately, which is the Tic Tac gimmick, which has elastic thread running around it here, which will just flap closed in the disguise of a double backer playing card. Let's get on to how we put this card together and how we create the gimmick for the other one. Okay, here is how to put together your gimmick. The good thing is you'll have one ready to go, so you can compare and see exactly how we produce this. Now this one that you have will last you it lasts me a long time, but of course anything with thread can break, and if it does, or if for any reason we've tied the knot incorrectly, it's so easy to fix in no time at all. So what we're going to do is, you'll see here that it's a single thread running through, basically through here, out through there, and a knot has been tied. It's as simple as that. We've done all the hard work with the gimmick so that you don't have to. And before we get into this, I want to explain the gimmick in a bit more detail. The gimmick comes in two parts. It's two cards that have been specialist printed. So we have the miniature deck, and we also have the Tic Tac version on one card. Then a second card has been stuck which has black on one side and it's been scored in the middle. So that allows it to flap like this. Both on double red backers, so they can be handled in a normal deck of cards and disguised very easily. We've even gone as far as using the punch to actually punch the 2 holes in the corner for you, so that you don't even have to worry about that. So let's get into the actual threading of the gimmick. Now, you'll get quite a lot of this thread here. So first of all, get yourself a generous amount of that. I personally went to a sewing shop and I found this, which is the best little invention ever. And I'm sure you can find them on eBay, but effectively, you do this and your needles will pop up and it's magnetic at the bottom, so they won't fall out. So this is one of the best little inventions I ever found anyway, after our trick, of course. So the second best invention I found for this was self-threading needles, or easy to thread needles, which means you don't have to spend ages threading them, you just simply push them in and they're ready to go. So let's do that. I'm going to push that into there, like this, and now that needle is threaded to here. Now I'm just going to take off about that much, that's more than enough. I'm just going to tear that, and now we have our thread. Very simple, all you're going to do is thread it in through the hole here and out through there. So let's go in through here like this, and then back out through there. And now we've created a loop going through the card. And all we're going to do is tie a knot 3 times here. It's as simple as that. So you'll be able to get this on the close-up camera that we have now. That's looped around and through both the cards. We're going to tie a knot here. What I like to do is sometimes hold the needle and use it to tie. I do a double knot there, I pull it once down and I'll just hold it with my little finger down here. Then I'm going to tie another double knot or triple knot. So it's pretty easy to do, bit finicky at the very beginning, but when you get used to it, you'll be doing this in no time at all. So there we go, that's the second one. And you just pull it tight-ish, like that. There we go. So that is normally enough, but what I like to do just as an extra precaution is tie 1 more double knot. Now I'm not just going around singly, I'm going around doubly like this and tying it 1 more time. Okay, so there we go. We have rethreaded the gimmick with a single line of elastic thread going around here like this. If you break it, guess what? You just cut, or if any problems, cut it and you start again. So there we go. Just one last thing to note, if for any reason this part of the gimmick comes away from here, because it's 2 cards here, quite simply the glue that we've used is a good old zigzag glue. We've basically put just a little bit on the underside of this card here and we've stuck that card onto there. So because we've used this glue, even if it did ever come apart, you could always stick it back down very easily with this. As long as you look after it. I mean, I've been doing the same trick with this for a long time. It will last you a considerable amount of time. Let's get on with attaching the gimmicks into the case and showing you the routines. Okay, so now you have your gimmicks here. All you need to do is buy a deck of cards, or I'm sure you will have one like this. So we've opted for the traditional backed deck of cards, which you can get from any magic shop. Most of them have this around the world, rather than the ones with the stickers on and the playing cards at the back, just because we can now introduce this gimmick in as part of the regular deck after we've done the trick. Plus we think these are the most popular deck of cards out there. So what we've done for this now is get yourself one of these, but keep the cellophane on it. Don't just rip it off straight away. Now this was an idea that Daniel came up with, and this is part of the beginning of the effect and how it all came about. So what you're going to do is score along here just below the circle in the middle, so just about 2 or 3 millimeters below it. So I'm just going to do that, doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to cut around there, I'm going to continue around there. Try my best to keep in the straight line as I can. You're always going to be off a little bit, but 9 times out of 10 you'll get pretty much there, and then just tear the top half off. And there you go, that is your gimmick ready to go. Throw away that. Now we've got the gimmick, let's do the one with the tic tacs. All you do is insert it into the back here, like that. Usually I have to open the deck and take a few cards out, like the jokers and the instruction cards, and then I like to sometimes put a couple of cards in here just to stretch that that cellophane out. But with this particular gimmick, I think it's loose, who knows why, who knows why. That inserts into there like this, and now you have the back of a deck of cards. That allows you to pull this back here, and of course, create that motion here of flipping and changing. Okay, so here's the explanation to the basic trick that you see on the trailer, the one where we throw the cards up and it changes from tic-tacs into a deck. So, to start off with, you take your gimmick, place it inside the wrapper like this, then pull back this part of the flap. Now, just give it a little pull here so you don't see the label part, and then you're good to go. Of course, you want to be careful with the eye lines of people, so if you're doing this for camera, make sure they can't see the edges of the deck, or this edge here. So I like to turn, if there's people around, I like to turn more on this sort of an angle to people. But you have to be aware of that angle. Just imagine there's an invisible line between here and the eyes of the spectator to the far left. And if there's someone right over here, you're going to have to really turn around, and that's just audience management, which I'm sure you'll get. So from here, that's there, you're just going to throw it up, and it will change on its own because of the flap. So, from here, what you're doing is throwing it up, and you're twisting your arm, and you're letting it go to here. So in that motion, it will automatically flap over, and now it makes a change. So, let's do this from here, one more time, from there, up to the change, and then turn the gimmick around to show the back. And then you can take the cards out and hand them the box. Now, of course, you can mess around and do this various different ways. Don't just stop at throwing it up. Why not drop it downwards? Why not take the gimmick and throw it to the side like that? It really is endless what you can do with this gimmick. So let's see what that looks like in performance. Daniel, got a tic-tac here. You know how you make a tic-tac disappear?
No.
Simple as that. You know how you make the box disappear?
No.
Like that.
Okay.
Do you like card tricks?
Yeah, go on.
Let's get on to card magic. Okay, I'm now going to talk through some of the changes that Wilson made as well. So here's a nice visual change. From here, what we're going to do is the change where that changes like this. Okay? So basically you're going to go into that sort of motion here. Again, you'd be wearing black. I'm not right now. But from here, I have the flap backwards, I've taken hold, and I like my fingers just to cover up the actual, any parts of elastic or anything that might show. And I always, as I said before, slide that towards the end of the box just to cover the part here. From here, all we're going to do is get to this point here, and that's where we let go, but at the same time we're going to pivot it round. Okay, so from here, we're going to go like that. So we'll do this slow motion from here, from the side. I'm going to take this, and as soon as it kind of covers in my arm here, I'm going to let that turn around to there. So you can hold it like that or like that. So in a faster motion from here, I'm just going to do that. A similar one to the one you just seen here. However, instead of coming out at an angle, you're going to come out like this. So from here, you're doing the same setup to here. As this comes up through the arms, you're doing that. Now to do that change, I'm not letting the gimmick fold completely because I find it easier to keep my thumb here at this point right there. From here, you're set up. As this comes up above your arm here, I'll do it without this arm for the moment. I'm simply going to get to that point here and put my thumb on it here and then flick upwards like this. So from behind, my thumb is still inside it, and of course that means it's angle sensitive. But from here, going up to there, and I like to drop it straight onto the hand because then it covers it completely. So in real time, one last time from here, and let's do it with the arm from here, and then drop. Another version is the one where he changes it behind his leg. Again, very simple to do. It's the same move as before where we're twisting the card like this, but instead you're doing it simply with your leg. So if you're wearing the black here or black trousers, be aware of what colour you are wearing. If there's black behind you, you could actually hold the gimmick like this and you can get away with it from here. So from here, simply take it behind your leg. As soon as it's out of vision of the camera or the people you're performing to, you're going to do that and bring it back out. So from here, in slow motion. Simple as that.
So James has just shown the black art version, and we should have probably done this the other way around because I'm wearing the black, he's not. But so if your performing conditions aren't ideal and you've not got the black on, or it's too bright and you don't want to rely on the black art, you can modify the grip. So rather than going for this sort of biddle grip, what we're going to do is do what we're calling the Wilson cover up. So we're using our hand over it completely. So that's credit to Wilson Chung, one of our Magic World friends. So we're having it here. So everything else is the same. You'll be coming out, you're just not relying on the black art. So you can also frame it here so that when you've done the change, it's staying in that frame. So all we're doing there is we've got our hand completely over it. So I can see my hand coming there. It's almost finger palming that part of the deck. So I'm holding it artificially high for how I would hold it just for camera. And then as the other hand comes over, makes that frame, I'm gripping between my thumb and first finger, everything's pivoting round and the flap does its work so that the deck stays there. So how that would actually look in that grip, it comes out in that position, holding it artificially high just so you can see what's going on, and then it comes round into that position and you've got your show. So something just to mention is that your gimmick, when you use it, it may curve up here, and also when you release it, it may not line up like that. It wasn't designed to have so much tension on the thread that it would stay there, because it shortens the lifespan of it. It also means you're more likely to break it because either the card gives or something else does. So once you've set it up, if it has curled, you can bend it back. There's other bits. You can have it here. I've pinned it down so that's not an issue. And when you've thrown, you'll notice that most of the techniques we've shown you are actually rotating it so it's this side. So as it does, you've got plenty of time to adjust it and show everything else. It's not in view that long that people are going to notice the thread or anything else. The switch has happened, it's out, the change has happened, and then you're good to go.
And the original. Okay, so there's two ways, of course, of placing the deck of cards into the box. We've done this with the faces now into here like this. So when you've done the secret move, you now simply let all the cards fall out, the box can now be examined, and now you can spread the cards out on the table. The second option is face down, like this. Again, you're taking the cards out of the box, but this time you have to be very, very careful, of course, about flashing that card while the rest of the cards come out of the deck. So if that's like that, you're going to see a flash, so you have to be very careful to pull them out. But the advantage of this method is that you can fan the cards like this and fan them like this. So there's good and bad ways for both methods.
So if you've got the gimmick on top and it's now the top card, so we're in that position, as it comes out, if you get your break under an extra face-up cover card, so we've got the gimmick and another card in this position, as we spread through, you can cleanly show all the cards and hold back that double card. That's one option. If you're happier and you get a pinky pull down of just the gimmick when you're in your dealer's grip, you can go in and get a reverse spread, and that would look like this. So we can spread that way and you're not having to hide it. So what's happening there is over the shoulder, I've got the pinky pull down, gripping and reverse spreading, and then you've got a very clean display of the few cards here without having to hide anything. Two options. If you want to get rid of the card, if you're familiar with a cop and you want to do a gambler's cop to get rid of it, but the very easiest way of doing it is saying, I'm just going to lose the jokers. And if you've got a joker in there, take that top card as well and it goes. So all I've done there, I don't actually have the joker in, but I'm going to spread through, take one card up, spread, take the gimmick, and they've gone either in my pocket or something else. So if that's what you want to do to get rid of the gimmick, that's just an easy option that a lot of people have used previously.
Fantastic.
So it's fair enough to say, although Magic is definitely a performance art and a live performance art, there's been a definite growth in Magic, particularly for camera in terms of Instagram, YouTube, and this is going to look really dated when we look back in 5-6 years and we've moved on and we're not even using those systems. But there will definitely be something of the recorded medium. We've done two different versions that you probably saw in the trailer. One where the camera is moving behind, and that's not even using the gimmick, but we'll show you exactly what we did there. and then the other one is where the mint went up and the off-camera assistant has helped there. So this is just a little bit to explain what we've done, how you could set it up, because if you're trying to do your magic for camera, you can take advantage of these sort of bits to make it enhance the magic you've already got. So if you take a gimmick that other people are aware of and use an off-camera assistant without it being obvious, you can heighten it. So that's what we're going to do. So this one is a pure camera trick. I've got the cards ready to be dropped, but I'm going to swipe out the real mints. I'm waiting for my cue from the cameraman. So the cameraman's going to say change, 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 as you'll hear, as the pack is obscured. Point to note is that James doesn't move at all. He's got to maintain that position, for that's the continuity of the shot. So I'm going to lean forward, swipe one, drop the other, and it'll go very, very quickly. So we've got the scene at the bar, we've got the real mints on the table, cheesy smile to camera, camera's looking at the mints, picking up the mints. We're going to take one mint out and track upwards. The real mints are still on the table as the camera packs up. There we go. So I've done that off-camera switch. That's now in his hands. I've passed it, perfectly ready to do the change, and the change happens. So it was the camera looking up, following that mint, has allowed me to do that bit off camera. So now we've spread it out, the gimmick's hidden, the camera can pan through. So this is a little bit of a bonus idea at the end, just with a few ideas of what you might want to routine this with. So you might just want to use Tactical as your opener and go into it and not have to do anything else, but other people like to routine things with more of a theme. So if you've got to carry some mints anyway, why not try and get those mints to double up and use them for something else? So we've grabbed a couple of products and we'll do a few mentions of things that you might want to look into, or you might already have something that you use. So we have here, we've got Mentalist by Peter Eggink. That's where you can work out how many mints they've taken. There's a few other ideas in there. Or you can go with Steve Rose Mint. That's your card into the Tic Tac box. And then one more is Johnny Chalatsis. He's released Tactics, and that's with Illusionist, and there's a few different ideas that he was playing with and showing us at the session, so that definitely gets the thumbs up from us. So if you've got to carry the mints anyway, why not try and make more out of it? But if you're happy as is, that's great.